Talking to former standout Washington State Cougar safety and former NFL safety, Erik Coleman. Erik, great night tonight. What does this event mean to you, honoring the Elite 11 Scholar athletes in New York City?
It's a great event. You know, our youth is our future, and honoring them and their accomplishments, taking care of business on the field and off the field, and we're recognizing that. So I think it's a great cause. You know, it's a great example for the younger generation coming up.
You had an outstanding career in Coleman and the NFL. What's the biggest piece of advice you can give young athletes making the transition from high school to college, and more importantly, college and the NFL?
Well, you know, I think a lot of it is time management. You know, learn how to focus during your off time. Study your playbook. Study your homework. You know, make sure that you handle your business off the field. The mental side of the game is what really separates the good players from the great ones. You know, both in college and in the NFL.
You look at your alma mater, Washington State, 8-5 last year. And Mike Leach, I mean, if they could just start fast. I mean, this team has a tendency to get out of the gate slow. Lost to Eastern Washington last year. Started 0-2, but reeled off 8 straight wins. Give me your thoughts about what we can expect out of the Cougars in 2017.
I think we can expect a lot better. You know, Luke Falk is coming back. You know, he's one of the nation's leading passers in the country. So, great core coming back. Offensive lineman coming back. The defense is strong. I think that they will work on the fast starts. And you know, this is a lot of time under Mike Leach. I think you're going to see this team start to grow and take some strides and compete for a Pac-12 championship.
You mentioned the Pac-12 for years now, not given enough credit for the great play within the conference. And then you see a team like Washington crack into the college football playoff. What does that mean for you from a former Pac-12 player?
It's great. You know, it's great to see the talent out of the Pac-12 emerge and show their skills amongst the nation's best. You know, everyone talks about the SEC and the Big Ten and all the other conferences, but the Pac-12 turns out a lot of great players, and they have a lot of good football, and they beat up on each other. So it's great to see a team like Washington, USC, you know, those teams dominate this year and show the world what they can do.
You talk about the New York Jets in a little bit of a transition now. They're cleaning house. Give me your thoughts about what we could see out of New York moving forward, a disappointing season. Any shot this team can make the playoffs in 2017?
There is a shot. You know, they're young and they're hungry. And anytime that you have a group of young men who don't know their limits and just want to go out there and fight, then you have a chance. You give yourself an opportunity. I mean, you look at leaders on defense like Darren Lee. I mean, you can't tell that guy he's not the best player on the field, and he has that confidence, and that is contagious. And I think that team is going to absorb that. And that defense, with the defensive line, they're going to get after the quarterback, wreak havoc. And I think McCown is going to be good. You know, a lot of people are doubting his talent. Yeah, he's in his 14th year. He's going to be just like the last quarterback. But that's all the Jets need, is a quarterback who can get them through, score touchdowns, make first downs. You don't need to put up 50 points a game. Just don't turn over the football, take care of it, make the right decisions, and they'll be in good shape.
You talk about your former team, the Atlanta Falcons, a dynamic season with Matty Ice, a quarterback. A 20-plus lead in the Super Bowl to give it up to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. I mean, how does that team rebound in 2017? And more importantly, can they make it back to the Super Bowl this year?
Well, you know, it's a tough challenge to get back to the Super Bowl, you know, after you lost one. You know, it takes a lot of luck. A lot of guys staying healthy, but they have the core tools. You know, Julio Jones, you mentioned Matty Ice. Matt Ryan, you know, I played with him as a rookie, and he came in this league as a very mature, hard-working player and had a lot of leadership, and he's continued that leadership. It's continued to grow, and, you know, I think with their defense that they're developing, Desmond Trufant, they're going to get him signed back up. Keanu Neal made great strides last year as a safety. They got a lot of talent, and they got a shot to get back to the Super Bowl next year.
When you see these rule changes, I mean, in terms of offensive weapons, I mean, you can't even bump and run anymore at the line of scrimmage. I mean, it's almost like flag football in the NFL, right? I mean, as a former defensive back in the league, tell me how the game has changed, even from when you played 5 years ago.
Yeah, you know, when I first got in the league, it was a lot more physical. You know, and I think the issues with concussions, the things that they've learned from the studies, they're forcing them to change the game. And I don't necessarily think it's for the bad. You know, yes, making a tackle was difficult at times. When you have to make a split-second decision and the ball's in the air, where you're going to hit the receiver, it makes it tough. But ultimately, it's to elongate the players' careers and their lives. And you can't really complain about that.
Great insight from former Washington State safety Erik Coleman.